Welcome back to the Shipyard. Today we are talking about Species 8472, Bioship Alpha. With a stat line of 6256, costing 38 points, it is one of the most formidable baseline ships in the game. The big downside here is that you can't take crew, so that's something that hurts a lot, because a lot of crew abilities really are what make ships tick. However, at 38 points, you don't have a lot of wiggle room, so by the time you put a good captain on this, you've pretty much filled things up. Now, without battle stations, the Bioship really needs to have upgrades that maximize its efficiency, so something that target locks often, even bringing in somebody like Gul Dukat to get that battle stations action, or maybe Ronald Moore from the Federation if you don't want to go Picard 9. Nevertheless, having 2 agility and 11 durability will give you a lot of survivability. The special ability, when you attack with your primary weapon, if you inflict at least 3 damage, place an auxiliary power token beside the target ship. That special ability is becoming more and more important. Being able to throw auxiliary power tokens on someone's ship is going to hurt their game all the more. People are running more Dukats, more Picards, more action chains. And if you can throw auxiliary power in the midst of that, you are going to hurt them. You're going to limit them, you're going to restrict their movement, makes them more predictable. You know where they are. So this is something that's worth considering. The generic Bioship, you lose that shield, you lose a weapon slot, but it is still a very viable ship. 10 durability, 2 agility, 6 attack dice for 36 points. Yes, it is only a 90 forward arc, and that is the big drawback of this ship. But it does 2 hard turns for white, 3 for red. It's got a 3 come about. It's no worse than most Klingon ships. The downside is that it doesn't cloak. But at the end of the day, this ship is worthwhile. If it wasn't for the Borg being as good as they were, this ship came out at the same time as the Sphere, Bioships would have been the thing that people feared more than anything else. So if you haven't played with Bioships, give them a look. They are definitely worth reconsidering and seeing if you can fit them into what you're doing. We get one named captain in this pack, and that is Bioship Alpha Pilot. I know, real original. Skill 7, 6 points, 1 talent slot. Each round during the planning phase, after all other players have chosen their maneuver, target a ship within range 1 of your ship, look at that ship's chosen maneuver, and then choose your maneuver. The target ship's player cannot change their chosen maneuver after you've looked at it. You may not perform any actions the round you use this ability. This takes away guesswork in the game. If you are tailing someone, big help. If you have other things that let you change maneuvers, like Uhura, Aaron Hansen, faked messages, all those types of upgrades are even more beneficial if you can look at 2 different ships, or affect 2 different ships. So the Bioship Alpha Pilot has a place. It is not the best card. 6 points is a lot to pay for only 7 skill, but you are getting access to a talent slot, which on Species 8472 is pretty darn good. That talent is the weak will perish. When attacking with your primary weapon, after you roll your attack dice, you may discard this card and disable your captain card to choose any number of your attack dice and re-roll them up to 2 times. So just like I was talking about with the named Bioship ability, needing to make sure that your attack dice hit for maximum effectiveness, the weak will perish is how you'd make that happen. Getting 2 rerolls is huge. It breaks a fundamental rule of the game. Yeah, 5 points for a discard is a lot, but at least you're getting something very useful out of it. And the trick is you don't need a target lock to already do it, so you can evade or scan in addition to getting your rerolls, and that makes everything more effective. The next upgrade in this pack is Biological Attack. It's a weapon. At the end of the activation phase, if your ship base is touching an enemy ship base, you may discard this card and disable your captain to inflict 1 critical damage to the enemy ship's hull, even if it has active shields. Then disable one crew of your choice on the enemy ship. This upgrade can only be purchased for a 8472 ship. If you have a way of making sure that you can hit them, like with the Bioship Alpha pilot, then biological attack is a great thing to use. You will do damage to them, you will disable their crew, and the big key is you're doing hull damage, and you don't care how many shields they have. And that's amazing. And crits going through, you might get a lucky warp core breach early. So biological attack is a gamble, but if you have extra ways to predict movement, certainly something that's worthwhile taking a second look at. Energy Blast is another weapon. It's a 5 attack, range 2 to 3. Attack target lock. Spend your target lock and disable this card to perform this attack. If fired from a bioship, add 2 extra dice. So essentially 6 points to fire 7 dice. Basically their version of torpedoes. Not going to say much more than that other than don't use it. Energy Focusing Ship. 6 attack dice, range 2 to 3. Discard this card to perform this attack. Target all friendly ships within range 1 of your ship that have not yet attacked this round. Target ships cannot make a normal attack. Instead, add 2 extra attack dice to your attack roll for this attack and for each targeted ship. Place an auxiliary power token beside your ship in each of the targeted ships. So, baseline of 6 attack. Maximum use of a lot of attack. Because with things like shuttlecraft and Romulan scout vessels and other things, you can really make an energy focusing ship hit hard. Now, those auxiliary power tokens are annoying, but if you think about an initial engagement at range 3 and how useful transphasic torpedoes used to be, and still are, an energy focusing ship could be lethal if you want to try to utilize one big ship and a whole bunch of swarm ships. Again, I think we need to go higher than 120 for this to be really playable, but it's getting there. Now we're moving on to tech. Our first tech is Bioelectric Interference. Action, discard this card to target all other ships within range 1 to 3 of your ship. Note that that's all other, friendly and enemy. Target ships must discard all tokens that are placed beside their ships except for auxiliary power tokens. So that is cloak, battle stations, target locks, evades, scans, ablative generators from Voyager, multi-vector assault mode from Prometheus, tribble tokens, yeah, you name it, they go away. A ship that discards a cloak token may immediately raise its shields. In addition, your ship cannot be target locked this round. Hey, that's kind of cool. Again, this upgrade can only be purchased for a bioship, or a species 8472 ship if they ever do something other than a bioship. Being able to have an area of effect attack, getting rid of a whole bunch of tokens, slows down Picard a bit. It was really an answer to flagships and stuff like Janeway shenanigans. Besides that, it's not the most useful thing right now. Our second to last tech is Extraordinary Immune Response. When you defend, you may discard this card to roll 1 extra defense die for every damage card that is by your ship card. This upgrade may only be purchased for a species 8472 ship. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We have 5 hull, so this can make us roll up to 4 extra defense dice. I'm a big fan. I think if you are willing to go Ducat to get battle stations, then you can have a very defensive ship, and you may just get something that somebody cannot kill. Extraordinary Immune Response, something worth looking at very hard. And now the very fun tech, Quantum Singularity. Action, discard this card to remove your ship from the play area, discard all tokens beside your ship except for auxiliary power. During the end phase, place your ship back in the play area. You cannot place your ship within range 1 to 3 of any other ship. That means if there is no place to place it, your ship is immediately destroyed, so don't do that. I like Quantum Singularity as a defensive measure. You're being focused on by 4 ships and you want to get out of dodge. Another good use is being able to jump out and then come back in behind everybody. That's like a turn 3 move or so, maybe a turn 2. Just kind of depends. So Quantum Singularity is kind of fun. Being able to stack like 3 or 4 of them is more fun because you're just jumping around the board the whole time and your opponent has nothing to shoot, or significantly less to shoot. At the end of the day, you have to be on the board in order to attack. So if you're not on the board, your other stuff's going to get shot at and die. And then you're left with a bioship that has to take on the rest of the fleet with not enough upgrades because you've used your quantum singularity. And you're in a world of hurt. So use quantum singularities strategically, get in good positions, or get out of bad positions. Overall, Bioship Alpha is a very fun ship. The upgrades are pretty self-contained. They don't mix. It's a faction unto itself. The nice thing is that a lot of the Borg upgrades say cannot target species 8472 or is not affected or has no effect against species 8472, so you end up being immune from some of the really nasty stuff like assimilation, Borg shield matrix. The thing I would urge people to do is to take a second look at species. They're getting Bioship Beta in September, and that will add a lot of options. And we've seen that whenever a faction gets a second ship, that they're just a little more playable. So I'd say right now, species is a nice option, and I think once they have Bioship Beta, they're going to be a more reliable option. But until then, give them a look, test them out, see if they fit your play style. They may not, but for some of you, if you're looking for a replacement for the Borg, try out species, see what you think. Alright guys, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what you want to see. Appreciate it. You guys take care.